Hey everyone, it's Philly Cheesesteak here, and we've got another album review on our hands. Yay! And today we're going on a trip through All for Nothing. This is the new album from American singer and musician Lauv, the third full-length album to be exact. Lauv is also known as a pop hit songwriter, composing tracks such as Boys, performed by Charlie XCX, and No Promises by Cheat Codes and Demi Lovato, both of which I do not like at all. These songs felt like corporate manufactured 4-chord songs with no soul to them. However, when I first heard Lauv's debut album, I Met You When I Was 18, I thought there were some legitimately good tracks on there. Don't get me wrong, a good chunk of those songs were not the best in my opinion, but some actually drew a lot of nice elements from R&B and hip-hop and jazz and funk, etc. So Lauv proved himself to be a pop guy predominantly, but I could at least see he was capable of breaking outside that box a little bit, and that he was able to write a pop track that is not as generic as the ones he writes for other artists, at least. Then his second album, How I'm Feeling, comes out, and it feels like everything was taken a step down. The quality of instrumentation, lyricism, variety, all that felt so much more generic here. I could tell he was trying to be a bit more emotional and focus a bit more on the sad, dissonant piano and synth chords, but he did this in a way that still somehow conveyed little to no emotion through his music. So with this record, my expectations were not high. I guess I was hoping that Lauv would decide to maybe take it back to what he was doing on his first album. Maybe just attempt to be a little less generic pop sounding. And not long into listening to All for Nothing, I realized that even those hopes that I had were pretty much burned alive. Jesus, this is such an underwhelming album. Imagine if you took that sad boy piano style he was doing on the previous record and spread it all across this album without actually fleshing it out or improving it at all. And the BS starts at the first track on here. 26 probably has one of the most predictable melodies in pop music, and my god, what are these lyrics? I'm pretty sure that I forgot what it's like to be a person that doesn't think that everything he does just sucks. Damn! Oh, it's so perfect world until it's not. Yeah, 26 and I'm rich. How the hell did it come to this? Oh man, poor Lauv is 26 and rich. How sad it must be to have more money than most working class people will ever have in their lives. Jesus, man. What a joke. I get that he's trying to comment on how money and fame and Instagram likes is not all that makes you happy, which is true in my opinion as well. But dang dude, at least if you want to chase a new hobby that might make you happy, you have millions of dollars to invest in it. The watered down instrumentation and lyrical themes don't really get any better through the album. The next few songs on the record shift towards a very desperate attempt to jump on this higher tempo 80s revival bandwagon that's been in circulation lately. Stranger sounds like if Shivers by Ed Sheeran was even more lifeless and formulaic. I guess if I look really hard, I can find some okay spots here and there. While I think the lyrical content of Summer Nights is literally something we have heard every month in a different way in some top 40s generic pop hit for the past 10 years, the beat is at least trying to be a little different and unique, as well as the vocal melody, and the opening piano is a nice touch. I like that. Hey Ari is a very dramatic song that I think expresses the issues of depression and anxiety in a more meaningful way than on the rest of the album. And I Don't Have a Problem, while nothing to write home about, at least tries to make you feel some emotion. I guess it reminds me a bit of the song Goner by 21 Pilots, if I could compare it to something. But man, everything else on this record is about as soulless and uninspired as it gets. The repetition in songs like Better Than This and Molly in Mexico is sleep-inducing. The ridiculously watered-down rap-singing hybrid of Stay Together is just the sorriest attempt at a trap song. It just all wears thin so quickly. I really wanted to like the closing track First Grade, but it's just such a basic, overused chord progression to make pop music sound more beautiful. And at this point in the album, I'm just so done with the record trying to force some sort of reaction. I'm just so tuned out at this point. Most of the songs on the record just feel so cold and calculated to fit all of the most popular pop music tropes. In one sentence, it is a market-tested, risk-adverse album. I think a lot of pop artists these days just tend to write songs about a very broad type of issue with very vague lyrics, lyrics, hoping that as many people can relate to it as possible, just so that the artist can gain traction. And of course, depression is a serious issue, and if this album helps you through that, then by all means enjoy it. Who am I to say that you can't? But I think that a lot of people who are genuinely depressed want to hear a little something more than, hey bro, you'll be alright. It doesn't feel genuine. All of the lyrics on this album can be summed up as, I'm sad. You're sad. I'm sad that you're sad. You'll be okay. I love you. I miss you. I changed my mind, I don't love you. I'm sad. That really is the peak of depth and emotion radiating from All for Nothing, and I think above all else, this just comes off as cheap to me. It doesn't even feel worth it to go over every track's lyrics and instrumentation, because if you played me any two songs on this album, I would probably forget which is which in less than a day because they're all so insanely similar. This review feels repetitive because what I am reviewing is so repetitive. This type of stuff needs to die. It feels like radio has just been pooping out the Chainsmokers type songs like this for 5 years now, and nothing has changed. Sad, bland, dispassionate. Lauv seems like a good singer, but it's hard to tell because his vocals are so overproduced here. But man, it feels like he has just given up on trying and seems perfectly fine with just coasting by with the least amount of effort possible. Can't say I'm that surprised, but pop music is better than this. If you want to listen to some good current pop music, you will not find it here. I love how Lauv is saying how money and social media doesn't make him happy and then posts a selfie on social media while wearing this. This is what I call my sad jacket.